One thing I'm adding here, guys, um, before we get into the next series, is I wanted to discuss the angle of the wedges. So there's a few different types of wedges that I like to trade. A falling wedge, which is one of my favorites, and then more of like a bull flag or a bull pennant. So what does a falling wedge look like? I'm going to draw them out here. So a falling wedge is more so, right? We have the flag, and then we have lower highs and lower lows into, like this downward channel here, right? This is my favorite type of setup here. We set the entry point at, we set the entry point at the high of this flag, or at that breakout point, I mean, and we set a stop loss right below, and the price target's at the high. These setups have the best risk to reward. They have the most explosive move, and I have had my biggest trades using these setups. Okay. Now, what is a pennant, right? We have the move to the upside, and we have higher lows, lower highs, like this. Higher lows, lower highs. Right, so you can see how it's a little bit different. It's the same pattern, it's just a different angle. Right, you enter at the break point here, your target's up above, and you look for that move to the upside with the stop loss right below. Okay, so these two patterns I trade every single time. This one I like a little bit more because it has a little bit better risk to reward, but both are fine. Another one that we trade is an ascending wedge. Right, it looks more like we have higher lows on a flat top. Right, flat top, higher lows, flat top, higher lows, and then the breakout point. So we have the flat top here with higher lows. So it's a little bit of a different angle. I do like this one also. This is my least favorite, I think, of the three. They're all good. Don't get me wrong. They're all good. But this one is my favorite. I've had the most success with it. This one's also great. They're all good. I'm trying to decipher here as I speak, but they all work. Stop loss would be right below, right here. Entry point would be right at that. It's like a triple top always, or a double top, or a quadruple top even. And the price target would have to be a previous resistance that is from previous price action. Okay. We can look at actual examples here also. So here is more of a sideways flag. All right, we have the higher lows and lower highs. All right, so it's more of a pennant versus like a firm here. We have the lower highs and lower lows. And it also is this previous resistance that acts as support. Here's like one of my favorite setups also, right? We have this base. Buyers are going to step in here, potentially. Right? No one knows what's going to happen, but it gives us a plan to trade. And stop loss would be right below. Entry point would be right here above. We look for that move into the zone here every time. DJT, right? This was more of a pennant. Same with this pennant. This is more of a falling wedge here. Okay, and it happens over and over again. We have it on SPY right now. Right? We have like these higher lows, lower highs, consolidation. Right? So tomorrow, I'm going to potentially look for a break here or a push through this resistance. And the stop loss on this example, right? You can't have a stop loss down here. It's too far down. So if we enter here, we need to just set a stop loss right below. It's not the best, which is why this is not an A+ setup. This is more like an A-, or maybe even a B+. So we'll have to see how that plays out, which is why a lot of people ask me, why didn't I take this trade if it has a flag? Or, why did I take DJT over SPY? Right? This is a better setup, right? It's a better angled flag. SPY needs to angle more, or it needs to push through this high. So hopefully that clears things up. Wanted to add that in there.